I'm going to be reviewing the books I read between January and March of this year, and you get to see me draw them. Let's get started. Before I start talking about the books, let me explain the illustration a little bit. It's still cold here in Japan, for me at least, and I'm so ready to go out to the park and draw something by the ocean. I knew I wanted spring colors and show stuff that I normally carry with me, so I drew my Aquaphor lip cream, my Apple pencil, because I always carry my iPad, my mono eraser. I actually carry 3 types of erasers, but I use this one the most. My cell phone, of course. Later, I changed it to the shape of a Splatoon phone because I really like this game. A cup of hot cocoa, my imaginary blanket I wish I had, my Apple Beat headset, the 3 books I will talk about, and later on I add some small things like a spoon for the hot cocoa, a charger, a cable for my phone, and a small Totoro plushie. I felt the corners were bare, so I added these small things that wouldn't distract you from the books. After that, I did the usual line art, test colors, add shadows, and change the color of the lines, and that was it. This was a good object practice for me, so next time I want to try another angle for sure. Now let me tell you my reviews on the books. This is my honest review. I am not sponsored. There's no holding back. First is The Iron Queen by Julie Kagawa. Julie is from California, then moved to Hawaii, and now lives in Kentucky, USA. Samari. This is a young adult book about a girl who goes into the Fae realm, where all the fairies live, and defends the old Faes, meaning the summer and winter ones, from the new metal Faes that pose a threat. This book, fairies are called Faes, and they were first created from the imagination of humans, so you get the winter and the summer phase. Then, once humans started using metal and created more technology like computers, phones, etc., the metal fae were born. So the winter and summer courts see them as a threat because they can't handle metal, and the fae world would die if everything was taken over by metal. So here you have this girl in between all this mess trying to save the fae realm. Genre. I would stick to mostly fantasy and teen romance for this book. Shirizu? Yes it is. It's the 3rd book of this series, so just start from the start and everything will make sense. Character. They're all well developed, they feel like very different personalities, and I can totally imagine what they look like based on their descriptions, motivations, and behaviors. Although, I'm not really a fan of the main female character. It feels very much like those love triangle stories where the girl has 2 love choices, but she continues to ignore the nice guy who's been her friend for, since the beginning. Why would you like him? Most of the time he never treats you right, and he screws up a lot. And romance is a really big part of this story, but I still keep reading because while her love priorities are a bit mixed up to me, one good thing I can say about her is that she does keep trying and doesn't give up. But she's just okay for me. But I am curious as to what happens in this world between Fae and humans, the relationship between the summer and winter Fae, and all the interesting creatures that come up. So I keep reading. Concepts. Everything is playing well, the language is clear, and I'm convinced that some characters really hate each other. I'm never left wondering why something happened or how did this come to be, unlike Kingdom Hearts. So no unexplainable mysteries there. Comprehension and enjoyability. Overall, I like this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because it has good characters, story and concepts are really well developed and explained. There are parts of the book that I enjoy a lot, and even though I kind of skip over the romance parts or some of the dialogue, I did finish it because I know there are more books and I just need to find out what happens. I need to know. Recommendation? Yes. I would recommend it if you like romance, some action and fantasy, and don't mind love triangles. It's not a hard read at all, and I think this would be a really cool movie series, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading the next one. Next book! The Cuban Affair by Nelson DeMille. Nelson is from New York. He is a Vietnam War veteran with an honorable discharge, has written 20 novels and has 2 doctorates in literature and humane letters. The dude likes books. A lot. Summary. The main male character, Mac, lives in Key West and owns a boat and is approached by Carlos, a Cuban lawyer that wants to hire him for a job that happens in Cuba for $1 million. He accepts this new adventure in his life and is accompanied by a Cuban-American woman. Not everything is what it seems, and as the reader, we learn what is happening through Mac. When he learns something, we learn it too. I would say it's a book for adults, more specifically targeted to a male audience who like crime stories. Genre. It's a crime suspense novel. A lot felt like a travelogue, but I don't know if there's a genre called travelogue. Series? No, it's not. Character. The main character was very well developed. We know a lot about him. The Cuban ones felt Cuban, and the American guy felt, well, American. So that was good. I love the Cuban lady because she's very opinionated. I like strong women in general, but I don't like that her perspective wasn't really explained in this book. Like, whenever she seemed to react to something emotionally, her point of view was never explained. As the reader, it's like she's just a candle that can lit up anytime, but we don't know why. It felt everything was only through a male's perspective, which I understand because that's the main point of view of this book, but then it becomes really one-sided and you can't really understand the other characters, nor why they do certain things or why they react that way. So that's where I would have liked to see more. I wanted to understand the other people and not feel like I'm being pushed to think that ladies are difficult to understand. Concepto. It feels like he really did his research about Key West, Cuba, Cuban culture, and Cubans in Florida versus the Cubans in Cuba. If you don't already know, I am from Puerto Rico, so I know a lot about this from my own life experience. It was nice to see myself being represented, and by the title, I was really excited to pick up this book, but boy, oh boy. Computation and enjoyability. Basically, I was very dissatisfied, and a little more than halfway, I just gave up and stopped reading it. I mean, I can handle a slow story if it's good content, like Anne Rice. Her stories are a bit slow, but the content is there. It's amazing. With The Cuban Affair, I just felt like it was going nowhere. It was slow. I was waiting for something to happen, but if nothing happens halfway through a book, that's a good sign for me to just put it down and let it go. Sure, it really felt like Key West, you know, the Cuban characters felt Cuban, but if I want to be represented in media, regardless if it's books, movies, whatever, I want it to be really good, and I didn't feel that. Some people have told me that he's a good author and has written a lot of great novels, and I'm sure he has, but my expectations were let down. And frankly, you can't really outwit a communist by just drinking and going with the flow. That part felt a bit unrealistic to me. Basically, it was a major letdown. The action and the story speed is basically like a wavy spaghetti. It builds up hype for something, but then nothing happens. And then again, it builds up and you think something's gonna be revealed, but it's not. Recommendation? No. Next book, The Glittering Court by Richelle Mead, or Med. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Richelle has written more than 25 novels for both adults and teens. Very impressive. She lives in Seattle, Washington. Oh my gosh, this video's almost over. I need to talk really quickly. Summary. It's about young girls who enter a training school called the Glittering Court where they learn how to be high-class ladies in order to get a good marriage. But Adelaide, the main person in this book, is from a noble family and she needs to hide her identity. And she kind of wants adventure, love, and freedom. Series? Yes, it's the first book out of 3. Genre? Historical drama! Character? Adelaide truly felt like a noble person. Totally believable. And all of the characters were lovable. Concepto? Nothing new. Computation and enjoyability. I basically couldn't stop reading it. I kept turning every page and I finished it all. So if you like historical or periodical dramas like Downton Abbey or Victoria, I definitely recommend this book. And Richelle, if you ever see this video, please collab with BBC TV and make this an awesome TV show. And that's all for now. That was my review for these 3 books. I hope you liked it, and if you want to see more of this, let me know down in in the comments below and I'll make more. And there's my artwork. So I hope you liked it. I put a lot of pink and green, and if you do like it, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!
Bloody blah. The others established the characters. The characters. Today is not my day. What was I saying? The main male character, Mac, lives in West. The main Kingdom Hearts.